Mic check. Music check. Good morning. The music was transitioning as I said that, so it was like in between songs. Oh, goodness. Not gonna lie, I am not feeling the best today. Hey, Forgotten Death, how you doing? So we've got Rev, got Atlam, we've got Forgotten Death, and I see Chim lurking in the background there. How's everyone doing this morning? Welcome to Mapmaker Monday. Yeah, sorry. I always do it very light in the background because I don't want it, A, risk there being like false copyright strikes, and B, because the music is copyright safe, but once in a while it still gets struck. And B, it should be just there very silently. Just subtle in the background, like present, so there's always sound, but not like overbearing. You know what I mean? You've been sick as a dog for the last week? I'm so sorry, man. What's going on with you? What's got you down? I heard the latest COVID strain is pretty brutal. I think that that's one of the biggest faux pas that streamers make, is they put their music too loud and it becomes very distracting. So how's everyone's morning going so far? How was your weekend? What you been up to? Let's talk about that. And for those that are new here, my name is Mac. I am the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. Dungeon Alchemist is a map-making utility available on Steam. We offer a free demo so you can try it out, see what it's like. Keep in mind the demo is just a small slice of the overall pie. Quite a bit of utility, form, function, and objects in Dungeon Alchemist, allowing you to have an almost infinite sandbox of creation. Today's stream is a focus on map making. It's called Mapmaker Monday. Every Monday, I sit down and I focus on building a map. The particular map we're working on right now is a massive ancient cemetery. This map has been quite an undertaking. It started in this corner, and I've been building it by hand a little bit each week for about a half hour each week as we meet up. Stream runs about 2 hours, but during that time we talk a lot. I answer questions in AMA format, which means ask me anything. So if you got Dungeon Alchemist related inquiries, suggestions, feedback, you can let me know and I will provide assistance. But I also build, and this build has become quite extensive. We're getting near the end. I think we're in the last third of the build now, which is essentially a lot of graves in this massive area we have called the sardine can, which is essentially just graves packed in. Sweet Mini Wolf, welcome to the stream. How you doing today? As a missus of a DM, I like watching these. So do you play as well, or do you just kind of spectate the games your husband DMs? I would love to hear the insight you have as the missus of a DM. That third party insight would be great. Are you a player on the table, or do you just kind of watch them play and you're like, what the heck is going on? Are they having a shared delusion? Honestly, Forgotten Death, I'm worried about you. What's been going on with you? What ails you, man? Let's hear about it. Excuse me. A little bit of a sore throat. We're going to be packing in some graves here the best we can, and I'm going to be trying to do it quickly because I really want to get as much of this done as I can today. Yeah, get feeling better, my man. Get feeling better, Forgotten Death. That's probably rough, I'm sure. Being sick for like a week has got to kill. Missing work or, you know, family, friends. Jim, how you doing? Oh, I've got the TikTok feed up. I've got the Steam feed up. We're live everywhere. How we doing today, damn fam? Let's talk about your weekend. Oh, gross. Oh, gross, Forgotten Death. That's gross. But I immediately got what you were putting down. So, you know what? Let's make it daytime over here so I can actually see. Gonna keep adding gravestones. Or like flagstones for walking, I guess. So for this portion of the map, we'll be adding, you know, like a walkway in between the graves. So people can walk down and, you know, pay their respects. And then the graves flip-flop and go back to back when they can. So you'll have like some like this. Let's do... Oh no. Collisions are on. I wish Dungeon Alchemist would remember that I had collisions off the last time I was using it, but it is what it is. The software is called Dungeon Alchemist. This is actually the official channel for Dungeon Alchemist. It's a map-making utility, an immersion tool. It's ideal for DMs, GMs who run regular campaigns, especially if you use, like if you if you play in person, you can print maps, or if you play in person with like a TV tabletop or a projector tabletop, you can use our maps as digital looped videos or images. And then if you play online using virtual tabletops such as Foundry, Fantasy Grounds, Roll20, etc., our maps export directly to those systems, allowing you to essentially have a very smooth end-to-end experience. The maps export with line of sight, lighting, walls, windows, doors, etc. Available now on Steam. Forgotten Death. Oh yeah, there is a free demo for sure. There's been a demo now for about a year. Pretty cool. The demo's pretty cool because it allows you to build a tavern in a forest if you want. You know, that's the point of the streams though, Forgotten Death. You tune in, you learn stuff about DA you didn't know. Man, when the demo first came out, it was a nightmare to download. I had to create a second account on Steam to download it because I already owned Dungeon Alchemist. I couldn't download the demo. Now you can download it and check it out, but before you couldn't. It was frustrating. Let's just say that. Let's do a broken one. Broken tombstone. Gotta have some roughed up tombstones every once in a while, right? And we'll put some pavers here. Forgotten Death, still waiting for a DA developer, D&D on DA created maps. So you're waiting for like a campaign is what you're saying? Sorry, I wanted to clarify there. Or like one shots or whatever ran on the channel. So Sweet Mini Wolf, it's a one-time purchase for a lifetime license. That includes all past updates and future updates. Dungeon Alchemist was realized as a Kickstarter several years ago. We hit every one of our goals, which are called stretch goals. And those stretch goals have been our various updates, patches, if you will. So roughly it's about every 6 months on average, we push out a new update. And the updates include tons of new objects, features, quality of life improvements, fixes. Our last update, for instance, added multi-level, so you could do multiple levels and roofing. This map was started before multi-level was added, so it's a legacy map that doesn't support it. But if you'd like, I can show you some multi-level maps. But yeah, every update is free. Basically, we have 4.5 major stretch goal updates till we leave early access, at which point it'll be considered full release, but we'll still add, patches, hot fixes. And then at that point, because there's been such a high demand, there's a lot of people in our community who play other systems besides fantasy-based systems like D&D or Pathfinder. Maybe they do a sci-fi based system or a cyberpunk or a modern one, whatever, Apocalypse. A lot of people want to use the tool that Dungeon Alchemist is for those types of scenarios. So after we leave early access, we're going to provide optional expansions that could be like a cyberpunk expansion or a sci-fi expansion or a Western expansion, something like that. Those will be completely optional, not required to purchase unless you want it, and it would just add tons more content within Dungeon Alchemist. Scooby-Doo, how you doing? Uh-oh, Sweet Minnie Wolf, someone type to her to tell her to refresh? Jim, I would love to do that, right? The thing is, okay, so I started pitching this idea, and one of our devs is like, this is great, I love it. And the other dev is like, I need more data. And that's the kind of people they are. They like information and to absorb and charts and data to make sure they're making a good choice. So in order for us to add like a stream like that, first off, I'm probably going to need to pull our community to see interest. I'm probably going to need to do some kind of business plan too, which, geez, that's kind of above my pay grade as a community manager, but I'll figure it out. Ultimately, adding an extra stream to our stream schedule that includes myself, a DM, multiple players, there's going to be costs involved, right? We need to pay these people, compensate them. So at the end of the day, I think I need to, provide some kind of breakdown as to why it, what benefit or long-term benefit this would provide, if at all, You'll DM for free. You're down for expansion, Scooby-Doo? Me too. Oh! Here, I got a few Scooby-Doo impressions. Let's see. Ruh-roh, Raggy! I'm the worst Scooby-Doo, actually. When he laughs, that's my favorite. Scooby-Doo was like one of my favorite cartoons growing up. Don't even get me started on Velma. That girl would lose her glasses like once every 5 minutes. But then also solved pretty much every mystery. I think the mysteries were just exclusively for her vanity. Okay, so Sweet Minnie, I'm glad you're back. Welcome back. I'm glad you can hear me. You can hear me, right? Just want to double check. Everything's good? You like parties? I'm skilled in cheese platters and charcuterie boards, just so you know. Okay, cool. Jim, you make me laugh. Sweet. Okay, Minnie, I'm glad you're back. So roughly on average, every 6 months, we release a major update. Our last major update took about a year, but it was a huge improvement. We added multi-level and roofing in the last update. Prior to that, you know, all maps would be top-down exported, which is the same it is now. I'm saving multiple times because I want to show you a multi-level map. But now we have these amazing multi-level maps available on the Steam Workshop that our community shares, by the way. So Dungeon Alchemist, not only can you make maps in it, but you can share maps or download maps from our community, which has shared over 12,000 maps. Last I checked, I think it's 12,500 maps on Steam Workshop. Oh, that would be hilarious, Scooby-Doo. A Mystery Inc. D&D campaign. Yeah, you do. Rev, you made this map, so you know it. But look, as you see here, this map has multiple slices where you can kind of cut away the roofing and look at different levels. So here is kind of the base level. And then the next level, and then the next, and the next. So, sweet Mini Wolf, when you make a map in Dungeon Alchemist, you can make a multi-level map. Things like mansions, castles, pubs, inns, cities, towns, villages. Now, keep in mind, the scope of a map you can make is directly proportionate to your computer specs. So if you have like a really powerful machine, a gaming computer, streaming computer, whatever, that's top of the line, it can make massive, intricate maps. If you have kind of just a basic laptop, you may struggle to make a map over, say, 30 by 30. Does that make sense? But maps like these are available to you to download as well as make yourself. So you can browse the repository of maps, which, like I said, over 12,600 now, actually. And many of them were made for like everyone's own personal campaigns, but then they ended up sharing it, a lot of which you could likely use in your own. In addition to this, you can also import custom assets. So if you have the ability to sculpt 3D models, create 3D models, or source them online, you can import them. And if you don't want to deal with that, you can look through the repository of over 10,500 assets shared by our community, many of which expand, Dungeon Alchemist into different themes such as sci-fi, modern, apocalyptic, etc. Caden, I appreciate that. Honestly, we, the devs, are very, very dedicated and work tirelessly to not only be committed to our Kickstarter promises, but also deliver above and beyond that by taking community feedback and suggestions and whatnot and adding them into Dungeon Alchemist. Multi-level and roofing is a great example of that. That was something we never promised in our Kickstarter, but ended up adding anyway. Caden, I appreciate the kind words. By the way, welcome to the stream today. How you doing? That's an accurate statement and assumption. Sweet Mini Wolf, most maps are played in top-down. We allow you to build in 3D. You don't play in 3D. When you export the map at the end of the day, it's exported in top-down. Let me show you what I mean. When you go to export this map, for instance, it slices it into 6 different maps. So you have the basement level with the underground level, the main floor, second floor, third floor, fourth, fifth, so on. You can export it for Roll20, as you can see here, and you could set it to either be a flattened top-down map, which makes it much more kind of flat, Or you could do a 3D perspective. There's two different ones. A limited, watch this right here. It kind of pops a little bit. Or you could do full perspective, which makes it a sort of kind of 3D popping map that feels more, it has more depth to it than a traditional top-down map. You can then export it to your specifications, whether it's for Roll20 or another virtual tabletop, or to play in person, or you just want a digital file, or you can even order it through our partner Kraken War Games, and they'll make a custom game mat for you and ship it to you. Now that said, with Roll20, Foundry, Fantasy Grounds, tabletop gaming is top-down, right? That's the traditional way it's meant to be played. So with these maps, we give you a top-down 3D feeling map that each map can be represented as a separate scene in your virtual tabletop. So in your case, Roll20, each of these would be a new scene. So if your players go to a certain staircase, a door, hatch, then you can load into that new scene. Caden, unfortunately, there's no way to export Dungeon Alchemist maps as a 3D model, and I don't think there ever will be, to be honest with you. Mainly because Dungeon Alchemist wasn't designed with that in mind. Scooby-Doo, you can group maps. On Steam, they have a feature called collections, so you can make collections of maps and assets and then save them, and then share that collection with others. Honestly, I'm a big 3D printing enthusiast myself, Caden, but honestly, from a 3D printing perspective, like, it would be a nightmare to print something like this. The amount of supports and like print time and oh my goodness, it would take days, weeks to print something like this. There are companies out there that offer like map making where you can 3D print it, and they make the models less intricate when you go to 3D print them, so they're kind of simplified, less polygons, less, you know what I mean? Overall. Anyway. So by the way, I'm multi-streaming right now. If any of you are wondering who I'm talking to, if you don't see the name in chat, we're live on like 5-6 different platforms right now. Twitch, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Steam. So I'm talking pretty much to anyone, anywhere that is chatting at the moment. So if at any time you're wondering if I'm talking out into the ether to no one, that's not the case. I'm actually speaking to someone else on another channel. I'm gonna put a token down. We'll do this really quick. Now, one other thing you can do, Sweet Mini Wolf, or your husband can do, is you can stream this to your players, like a first-person perspective, or you can record or take screenshots. This is another way the 3D interaction is cool. It allows you to get much more intricate handout offerings. A lot of DMs will use Dungeon Alchemist to make beautiful handouts and video clips and even walkthroughs like this, where they'll stream the first person perspective whenever their players go to a new room. They'll just go into that new room and show them what it looks like from their own eyes. Anyway. Oh, yeah, and by the way, I don't say that to brag, just more like so people don't think I'm crazy, because I'm sure me just talking out loud to random people you don't see, you're like wondering, wait, is he okay? I am still working on the cemetery map. I just was showing off a multi-level map to another viewer because they were asking about it. In fact, let's go back to working on the map. I get distracted so much. I have what I call streamer brain. You got all these people talking with you, chatting with you, and a lot of different conversations going on at once. You get distracted and you forget what you're doing often. Dude, I bet. Abstract lighting is so amazing. It's a great tool. Our last update added what's called abstract lights, which are basically invisible lights. You can add them to your map. They're visible while you're building, but when you export, they're invisible. So they essentially cast light, but the light source is invisible on the export, making it a cool way to add light to the environment without adding hundreds of light sources like I did here. Rash, you like the first person view? It's very fun, isn't it? What I've seen is I've seen a few DMs use it where they'll have players, like they'll follow along what the players are doing at any point in time, right? And then if the players do something, like they'll go into a room where there's lots of interactables like chests or cabinets or closets or desks, anything. They'll let the players be like, hey, can you walk over to the desk and take a look at it? If there's anything on the desk, you know, or a drawer you can open or a cabinet you can open, they'll let them. Pretty fun. Serious map making for the next like 20, 30 minutes. I'll do put a here. Yeah, I saw that too, and I turned it around, but then I realized there was a gate going in. It's kind of interesting. I was going to ask you about that, Rev, but I didn't want to, like, call you out, per se. It does have that mist vibe, doesn't it? When in first person. What should I put back here? Like a hedge or something? Put a tree. Thinking hedges. Topiary. Bit on there. Hey. A little bit too. Looks good. I am a Mac and I'm digging a hole. Diggy, diggy hole. Diggy, diggy hole. Offhand, I don't know. I didn't even know that was a problem. I would say it's probably due to the floor limit of the main level somewhere along the ways, or trying to intersect them. I get it, though. It's weird. I don't know. I would say multi-level still needs some work underground. That's my current thought on the matter. We could take a look at it, but I don't think there's a workaround to fix it. The workaround is them coping. You know what I mean? Like, which I don't think a lot of people like to be told that that's the solution. For now, at least. At the end of the roadmap for DA, what's next for you and the team? Scooby-Doo, that's a good question. Are you still here? I'll answer that question. Honestly, I do think it's more or less just currently they didn't really consider those possibilities when they were putting this together. And there's just a lot of considerations and adjustments that need to be made for multi-level when it comes to underground areas and also like merging two different heights, etc. Yeah, I turn off collisions, but I also closed the map and opened it again, so it reset it. Isn't that silly, Rash? Should keep my prefs. So after we leave early access, the devs have said they want to offer a couple of things. Optional expansions that go above and beyond our promises from the Kickstarter, things like sci-fi or cyberpunk. So it would give you hundreds of thousands of objects, hundreds of room types, doors, windows, walls, floors, tokens, etc. that all and probably even some biomes too, that all plug into the Dungeon Alchemist architecture, giving you the ability to build those style maps more easily, using the generation tools for environments and rooms, and whatnot. So I know you can raise and lower rooms, like that's a normal thing, right? It's also possible his map is just borked. Like if he started it, say, before the update, it's possible there might be some weirdness to it, or could have a bug that won't allow him to raise and lower it. Have we tried it on a new map just to see if it's possible? So on a brand new map, you tried this and it was not possible, just to clarify. That's weird. Don't know what to say then. I would just say report it through the report menu, and I can mention it to the devs. Honestly, though, I think it gets a little weird when you start raising and lowering things underground. Mainly because of there's only so much space between levels, and if you start raising something, it'll be visible on the other level, or lowering something visible on the other level. I think the best way to deal with these kind of issues is to try and cut through the stonework manually using the terrain tools instead of the room tools, or to carve a room and then delete it after. So the room space is there, but then you might be able to cut away at the, layering between it. I'll be honest with you, at the moment, I am assuming it's just not possible. Now, back to what I was saying to you, Scooby-Doo. After we leave early access, the devs have also stated they'd like to potentially offer a standalone virtual tabletop for Dungeon Alchemist that essentially supplements it and gives you the best possible interface and compatibility for Dungeon Alchemist maps. If that makes sense. I like how you said res, by the way. Good Scooby-Doo answer. I'm sorry. Honestly, I'll take a look at it too. After the stream, I guess. one's gonna stop me. Cool. We're making moves. What's another Scooby-Doo phrase? Ruh-uh, ruh-uh. Honestly, though, I mean, it's highly unlikely you both are doing something wrong. So I just think it's limitations of multi-level, as it's this new feature that, you know, is cool, but also has some caveats and needs some adjustments when it comes to underground, at least in my opinion. Goodness. Are y'all dying watching me put in graves? Gotta be riveting stream entertainment. Michael, I don't have a date as of now, though I can tell you work is definitely happening on the back end. Every day the art team is putting in like new assets and or, you know, sharing new assets, and the dev team is working on some new concepts on the back end. So what's it like listening to map making, Chim? That must be entertaining. Michael, the best I can say is we hope for before the end of the year to release it. Sound good? Holy cow, TikTok, thank you for all the likes. Much appreciated. And a good days to use. Job's been keeping you busy. I'm glad to hear it, my man. Yeah, I know. Oh, so it's Michelle, right? For some reason, it's listed as Michael. But yeah, man, I'm glad you're busy with your new shop. Like, that's awesome. It's a good thing, right? But is it easy to learn when you're listening versus actually seeing it? I guess, you know, some people are like an audio learner versus a visual, or like a hands-on versus like a practice learner. Some people need to be shown something one time, other people can just figure it out. You know, Forgotten Death with the new... Oh, Devin, thank you for the roses. Much appreciated. Thank you, thank you. With the new agent feature in ChatGPT, I imagine you could get it to do things for you, like generate maps at least. Because you could say, you know, what you want it to do, and then it would go through and generate tons of maps for you. Because it kind of automates the process. That being said, I still like to kind of have a hand on the wheel. You know what I mean? That's my preference, at least, when it comes to these types of things. Going to do a Ravenloft to Spelljammers? Whoa, man, that's a big transition. That's cool. I appreciate the kind words, Jim, and I'm glad you're entertained by the stream. I often wonder why people enjoy watching me, like, or listening. So I appreciate the insight. Like, and I'm not like looking to scratch my own back or anything. I'm more just or less like wondering what's the curb appeal, the entertainment value for some people. I know you can use GPT to generate images, but what I'm saying instead of that is, instead of images, you have the AI agent in GPT open up Dungeon Alchemist and run through and change all the settings for you and generate maps and maybe even put in buildings for you. The AI agents can be told to do things, and if there's specific like stuff that it can read in front of it, it might be able to do it. It's kind of a new feature. I was reading about it recently. Some guy was using it to like, I mean, you could do it to do all sorts of stuff, but he was using it to apply for jobs en masse, and another person was looking for deals, like for a certain item. The bot would just go look for it for them. Kind of crazy. Yes. Like I'm starting to drift a little this direction. Teeniest bit. Ooh. Honestly, Don John's really cool too. I'm sure a lot of you have used Don John in the past, but do you know you can use Don John dungeon generation maps and then import them as a tracing layer to Dungeon Alchemist? So you have like a really, really simple, you generate a dungeon, then bring it in, trace that all out in Dungeon Alchemist to make it much more detailed. Oh, for sure. I appreciate handcrafted care. Weird. I don't know why my Discord just jumped up. How you doing, Polaris? Welcome back. Weird. It was like I got a message and then my Discord popped up. I've never seen that happen before. Is that a new feature? Because I don't like it. Like, very confused right now. Oh my goodness. I'll just delete the top. Takes less time. Here's the next junction. I might break that and just put a wall there because there was one right there. I don't need one like every 10 feet. Going to here would speed things up for sure. It's called Agent, an AI agent is what it is. I don't know exactly 100% how it works. I've just seen videos of it. So just check it out and look into it. I'm not really an advocate for AI, but I do like automating things to speed up my own work. And if there's like a tool that can be used to automate processes, then, you know, might try it out or give it a shot. You know, actually, now that you say that, Michelle, I'd like to get everyone's feedback if I could. How has Dungeon Alchemist impacted your campaign? Has it been good, bad? Has there been, you know, like, have you seen, did your players enjoy the maps? Have you seen, you know, an increase in output in your maps and productivity? Like, I'd like to learn general feedback from our community about Dungeon Alchemist and how has it affected your overall work in your campaign. Or workflow, I should say. I think these are starting to kind of get behind. Gave me a lot of work to do. The players love the TV table setup and interactions in first person. That's awesome, though. I'm sure they really enjoy that level of interactivity. I love for my players to be able to roam to some degree, and generating on the fly really helps. That does make a lot of sense, Michelle. It does. It does speed things up for sure. I think I want to run a line on this so I can keep these straight all the way down, because I feel like I'm veering slightly over. I had room for these and now I don't. Where is that ruler? Do I have it still? I might have unsubbed from it. Okay. I'm gonna go get it from the workshop. Measure? Measure. Come with me. Okay. I need that. Not at all, Rovoku. Honestly, a lot of people make maps just for the fun of it, you know? It's like a cathartic, fun exercise. It doesn't even have to be for a campaign at all. It can just be for you. You know what I mean? Yeah, I use it as a straight edge sometimes to just make sure everything's kind of following the same path. Because over a long period of time, things can start to drift even if you have a good eye for it. You know what I mean? hear the garbage truck outside. It's garbage day. And oh my goodness, they're so loud. And I swear, they like tried to break my trash can every time. Almost every trash can in my neighborhood has a huge gouging hole where the claw grabs it. Like, my camera has some crazy death montages of them trying to like fling my garbage can. It's nuts. Watching this helps me get inspired since I bit off more than I can chew. Oh no, are you working on a really big map lately and it's kind of got like, you're like not sure what direction to take or what's going on there? Honestly, like this map is literally the poster boy map for biting off more than you can chew. I did not realize how long this map would take me when I started it or how big it would get. And I did so much to challenge myself and I made it so much harder too. Like silly things like making the grid perpendicular to the majority of the map. Only in this portion has it been really easy, but everywhere else, the grid is not like complementary to the build space. Look at this big chapel. I built it off grid. Like I did it in a weird way to torture myself. Honestly, yeah, I mean, to let it drift a little bit, but I mean, engineers in the past knew how to make a straight line. Plumb bobs have existed since like 3000 BC. Like the pyramids are a great example of what you can do with just like a string with a rock on the end of it. You know what I mean? I think straight lines should be expected in architecture and design quite a bit whenever possible because humans favor them. But that's the reason that's like you don't see it in nature very much. But also a little bit of drift here and there or spaces that weren't perfect, I'm fine with it. As you can clearly see, it's not like a perfect thing. But I do like the line to remain mostly straight over the period of time, so when I get to the end, it's roughly the same amount of space on both sides, instead of one side only having 2 graves and the other having, 4. I used to play a home. Did it have microtransactions, Chim? I gotta ask you. Dude, a string with a rock can do a lot. Like, I'm not even joking, Michelle. A string with a rock and lots of time, and you can make all sorts of stuff. Manpower. Honestly, Rovuko, honestly, like making maps just for yourself with no intention of anyone even seeing them is not a problem. There's many people in our community who do that. I do it. I make many maps that never see the light of day. I'll just kind of unwind and build something for fun, right? I think building something and having the satisfaction of finishing something, building a project to completion, is not something to be underestimated. It is so satisfying. And like, even if, you're just sitting there and you're like, oh, this would be cool if they had this pathway for this. And then, they do this thing. Even if there's no one that ever uses it, it's still very, very fun to work out these problems. It's satisfying. It's gratifying. It honestly, it's an art form, but also it's kind of like a, you're constructing, but also you're doing art at the same time. So it's, I think there's like a crosshatch of feelings that you get from all the work and satisfaction of finishing or building a map. It's fun. I've always enjoyed building maps in Dungeon Alchemist, even if I never was going to use them in a game. You could just be a person who likes maps. You don't have to be a DM. Dungeon Alchemist forgets this demographic. Continent? The continent looks like a spider web with oh my gosh. That sounds so cool, Scooby. Have you posted any of it on the workshop? Uh-uh. Uh-uh. I wonder if I could do a voice like a baseball announcer. It's the bottom of the ninth, and we've got Mac on the plate. Nope, I'm bad at it. Not good at it. So you doing it like an overworld map? Christopher Walken, is that you? Did I lean into Christopher Walken on that? That's hilarious, actually. Did not know I did that, Cronkler. Hilarious. Okay, here, let me try You know, you've ruined my life. I cannot go to the corner restaurant for a bowl of delicious bolognese without someone coming up to me and saying, I would like more cowbell, Mr. Walken. I demand more cowbell. Oh my goodness. So that's like one of my favorite Christopher Walken stories. Apparently he despises Will Ferrell now. Like, just doesn't like him anymore. And I can understand why. Like, Christopher Walken is an accomplished actor. He's been acting for like 50 years. Okay, and like 50, like over a half a century, and his most memorable role is a skit on Saturday Night Live. Like, and he can't get a moment of peace because of it. It's so iconic. This is Bob Euchre saying, stay classy, damn fam. And remember to leave the stadium in an orderly line and pick up your trash and belongings. Keep placing stones. Image import's a good tool for that. I'm using this as like a straight line for my stonework here. Sorry for the confusion there. HP. My dog did not like that. He is throwing a tantrum in the other room. I haven't saved in a minute, so I'm gonna save. ABS. The anti-lose bee saving system. So, to be honest with you, I feel that. I feel that, Rovuko. Honestly, just enjoy yourself, you know? And I know it's hard to just say that. Like, just what I think you should do is really just make a map with no goal. Just make something. Start with no intention and have no date or time frame to finish it. Sometimes you just got to release yourself from that pressure. So years ago on my own stream, I used to do like interactive events. You know, people could like tip a certain amount and have me do a cowbell dance for like 5 minutes or something, right? Because everyone loves cowbell. Or I would do like voiceover for 10 minutes or something, but that's a long time ago. So I have the cowbell sitting in my office, but I actually one time broke a drumstick on it during the stream, and it was the most epic event ever. Because I was just like going to town on the cowbell and the drumstick just shattered and like went everywhere. And honestly, it made it so so entertaining. Welcome back, Shira. How you doing? See, she didn't say it like that though. She would yell it like this with a clenched fist. She'd be like, "Tikara Magaranija." If she like stubbed her toe, she would yell that. Or if she like was mad at someone speeding on the road, or if she was upset at something on the TV, she would yell that. It's sometimes so like invigorating to just release yourself from the pressure of, you know, especially if you come from a work background or a family background that's really high pressure to perform, and then you just do things for yourself for fun. It's hard to do. I honestly know that because I came from a family that was very high pressure to like succeed and perform, and now I'm like definitely a more laid back person. Hey, let's ask the whole crew. So Scooby-Doo over on TikTok is asking, I need a name for a leader of an adventurers party. They're kind of posers. Any suggestions? They are fated to get bonked by the local mini boss. So a competing party, but they're really inept, right? So let's come up with a fun name for them, crew. I need everyone on deck here. Let's get some suggestions. Hey, welcome, Mondu. How you doing, bud? G. Roy Lankins. Oh, the leader is a lady? Okay. So we need a lady name. A lady adventurer name, probably one that's punny. If at all possible. How you doing today, Mondu? Um, you could go with the like iconic, like silly, like names that usually like say something in the name, right? Like, what show did this? I think like shows like 007 did this, where the name would be like a phrase. So you could do something like that for the lady leader. So she could be like, well, what is her class? Is she like a barbarian? Like what is her class? That could help too for coming up with a name. Doing a bit of science for endeavors, actually. What kind of science? Hadar. Aha. Oh man. Oh, that's brutal. Cronkler on TikTok says Hadar has kicked. Penny Dreadful, Drew Tilda. What's her class, Scooby? She's a fighter, haven't decided a subclass. Okay, let's say I'm bringing some fun with objects part 2 early. I'm just checking if certain behaviors other objects have with this trick can be applied to those graves you're using. Yeah, potentially. You could grab, these 6 and just, but then I don't know if it would automatically switch them to new variants. That's the problem. Here, let me copy it for you. Where is that? Oh, it's in the chat. You see it already. That one's pretty good. How are you testing that exactly? Mondu, I'm confused. Hey, Belladonna, welcome back. Is it the equinox today? So this particular asset has hundreds of variants, like over 700 variations. So when you copy this asset, right? I'm assuming whatever you did, I'm assuming you did something Mondui. I don't know what you did, to be honest. However, every time I place a new one, it automatically variants it. I don't have to press tab, so just copying and pasting it may variant it automatically. What's going on, Belladonna? Holy what? The amount of variations, you mean? For this grave? I think there's more than that even. Rash, are you in Eastern time? There's another name that just got dropped, and I think it's actually very amazing. First off, welcome to the chat, Wicker of Jack, and that's hilarious, actually. Here's one for you. That's like so 90s too. Goodness. Brutilda is pretty hilarious, by the way. Brutilda is another good one. Isn't that like the Grunhilda is like a kind of a Viking name, right? That's pretty funny. Okay, more graves. Let's add some graves. Let's add some graves. But every time I press tab, it's a new one. I could do this all day and not see two of the same. Hopefully we got you some. Big old gnarled trees. You mean like dead trees? Is that what you're asking for? Okay, so to clarify, you want an old dead oak tree with leaves? But if it's dead, how does it have leaves? I'm so confused. So you kind of want them to have that like Wizard of Oz vibe? Windswept trees, a tree that's seen some things. Maybe the Hexus tree from Fern. Man, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time, Wicker of Jack. Fern Gully. The the Avatar prequel. Ah, that movie was pretty good. Can you send me a clip of it? Good to know, Rash. Good to know. Honestly, as far as the trees go, I would probably supplement your collection with the ones on the workshop. There's now hundreds of available trees that have supplemented like the options we offer. I do think we should add more though, for sure. There's over 100 extra options now to supplement it. Here you have a dead weeping tree. Honestly, the workshop can be your best friend and your worst enemy. Be very careful when downloading assets from the workshop because some are better than others. And by that, I mean some are more optimized. Often a user will grab an asset from the internet, throw it into Dungeon Alchemist where it may not be optimized for that use. Does that make sense? Some make the assets custom for Dungeon Alchemist and they tend to work better, load quickly, not have issues where huge collider boxes are bugging other stuff. Yeah, that spiral tree is a good one. There's a few dead trees at the bottom that it looks like Asmodeus has uploaded. Asmodeus, Dallas RT, one of our moderators, his assets are usually pretty decent. He's uploaded thousands of assets, so you probably have used his stuff. There's some from SAC as well down here that kind of have that, but you would probably had to add leaves like naturally or like manually to them. I know you're wanting some. Here, there's an oak tree. There's a tree with moss. Weeping tree that's dead. There's a few options. I think there's probably enough to get by. So when you want to check the workshop, this is for everyone, not just Belladonna. Open your Dungeon Alchemist and click Steam Workshop in the top menu, and then go to Browse Assets. And then you can search a term. Most likely, as long as the person put at least that term in the title or the description, it should find it. So in this case, tree, where he finds over 100 search options. So I think with, you know, between the stock options and the third-party options on the workshop, hopefully you'll find enough to at least make something. But for the interim, I will reach out to the devs and let them know we could use some more trees. You know what I would like? Some redwood trees. I think a few redwood trees, because those are like Ewok trees. You know what I mean? Oh, right. It's like it's hard to describe how beautiful they are. No worries. We knew what you meant. Like Tarzan, like, you know, when I think of Tarzan, I often think of the animated film from like the 90s. Obviously, Tarzan is preemptive to that. It's been around a long time. It's one of the like first major media like enterprises, right? But with Tarzan in general, I always think of how he like would slide down and like surf the branches and how they were interconnected and stuff. Oh man, Phil Collins went way hard on that soundtrack. Probably the best of his career. Like Phil Collins is really good, like all across his career, right? Top notch. But that was like, I mean, Disney picking him for that soundtrack was probably one of the best choices Disney ever made. I wish more of our community was like centralized in one area. We could do group meetups or hikes. Be pretty cool. Oh yeah. Yeah, he did a lot for that. Yeah, George of the Jungle is definitely like the satired, you know, version of Tarzan, right? And away he'll schlep on his elephant shep while Thella and Ursula stay in step. Whoa! Do I have any graves that are referencing other media movie characters? What do you mean, Scooby-Doo? Hey, Highland Lass, how are you? Welcome back. By the way, I saw your message the other day. I've been so swamped going into this weekend. If you have someone that you know could use it, definitely send it their way. I don't have time lately to even check it out or know anyone who might be interested at the moment. I apologize. I have been so like, ugh. So for those that aren't aware, we've been onboarding a new portion of the team. We're adding like a marketing and social media and marketing team to the group that will be helping us kind of do more advertising and whatnot and marketing as we get closer to leaving early access and going to full release. So essentially, this new team got added, and I've been kind of meeting them and understanding what's going on and learning everything. And essentially, they're like a firm that we've contracted to assist us in several matters. They'll be assisting in moderation in the Discord, social media posts, helping us advertise and marketing. And, you know, essentially everything will be the same as is. I'll continue doing our streams and, you know, social media stuff that I do and community management, and they will do their own aspect, which is focusing primarily on bringing in new people into our community. So you may have noticed in our Discord, there are some new like moderators and new roles and whatnot. Yeah, there should be an announcement forthcoming, if not today, soon, discussing this. I basically all of these changes were brought on without me knowing, and so I was a little like concerned at first, but essentially it's just a team that's like here to assist me and help Dungeon Alchemist kind of grow to new heights, right? Yeah. And the thing is I've been kind of doing the marketing, and it's not really my job. I've been doing, you know, community management and marketing is like totally different, right? So I've been doing the best I can, but it's not really something I've got training on or experience or whatever. So them bringing them in is a good idea. It will help us kind of get to new heights, I'm hoping. My concern is like, I'm worried that like, I don't want to lose the feel we have right now as a community, as like as a group, right? I don't want to get to that point where it's so big we don't feel like that anymore. You know what I mean? Yeah, it is nice. It is nice. I will have more free time, and I'm hoping that will allow me to do more silly things with the community, such as cosplay or giveaways, events, etc. I would like that, but it seems like to do that, it would be such a hurdle at this point. I don't know. I don't know. Do you ever feel like when you work somewhere, you're playing like mom and dad? Like, you know what I mean? Like one person says one thing and one person says another. So I definitely need to approach this in a way that like it's not only like methodical, but like covers all the like minutia of cost, and also breaks down like, you know, how it might be useful or fun for our community. When the Mac Tool Time Show launches. Oh, goodness. Honestly, I've been considering doing little projects on my own stream on the side. I think it'd be pretty fun. But then I'm like, what do I do next? Half the time I'm like, I don't even know what to do next, you know? Got it. Oh, gotcha. You know, I could do that. Add little Easter eggs in. That's a great idea, Scooby-Doo. World's best boss for The Office is hilarious. Michael is honestly one of the best characters in modern media, and it's got so much depth to it with like such a shallow character on the surface. But anyway, moving on from that, I very much do think I'll probably add like, you know, little grave like items like this to the graves, like little, you know, hey, someone's visited and left some flowers or a little item to show their remembrance, right? A Stargate, maybe that'd be kind of cool. I might do that somewhere. Or a Stargate reference, maybe a box of Kleenexes or something. Build it with Mac makes. See, the thing is like, I only have so many projects I need to do, right? My house is only so big. But if y'all would be interested in something like that, been playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. A lot of references in it. You know, honestly, the Kingdom Come Deliverance games, they're so cool and they're like very historically accurate. One thing I've been considering doing, Rev, on my own is like, I've noticed like there's like a whole millennial subculture where like people around my age kind of grew up in this weird niche environment that like doesn't exist anymore. And so I may want to point out some of the weird quirkiness of that in videos. But at the same time, I feel like I'd run dry on content really quick. Want to start a poll to change Mapmaker Monday to Mapmaker? Oh my gosh, I can't say that. There's no way I could say that 5 times fast either. Well, it's not even games, just pointing out silliness. It is Monday. Don't worry, I get it. We all have those moments on Monday. Moments where you could use more coffee. How are you enjoying Kingdom Come Deliverance so far, Scooby-Doo? Is it treating you good? I've heard good things about it. I played the first one, really enjoyed it. But I got a key for it for the port for Xbox when it came out. As a streamer, I was gifted a code. And honestly, the port wasn't that great on Xbox, so I didn't enjoy it on Xbox. And then years later, I played it on PC. It was so good. Your PS4 couldn't handle the first one? Oh, goodness. Yeah, I heard a lot of the console ports were kind of lackluster. For the first game, at least. The interface was kind of broken as well. It was like hard to understand what to do at any given point. Felt like the game was made as an afterthought at the time. But you know what? I'm just glad that, you know, the second game's a lot better as far as the interface is concerned. Man, we added a lot of graves today. Here all the way down. Still going. Keep adding graves. By the way, during the stream, if any of y'all have any questions, concerns, feedback, suggestions, remember the stream is hosted in AMA format, which means you can ask me anything. As long as it's Dungeon Alchemist related, of course. Oh, speaking of which, like Atlam just did some promo for the Damn Challenge. Just so you know, our new Damn Challenge theme has been decided, and it's fairy tale. So using fairy tale as inspiration, make a map of any shape or size, and then submit it to the Damn Challenge channel. Make sure you are following the rules pinned at the top of the channel and also the server rules when you make your submission. As we want to make sure that all submissions are family friendly and also, just fun for all to enjoy. Mosey, you know what? I can't wait for you to enter the challenges. What I can say though, if I could offer a bit of motivation, if you drop like a half hour a day into a map over 2 weeks, you probably have an entry. That's the same for everyone. If you can find a half hour a day to just sit down and work on your map, I guarantee you'll have an entry before the deadline. Maybe not even that much time. Just got to finish this campaign. Have any of your maps that you've been using for your campaign could also be potential entries. I've been so uninspired for a map lately, Canary Riot. I'm sorry to hear that. What can I do to help you get inspired? If I gave you a theme or an idea or a suggestion, do you think that would help? Or are you just kind of in one of those ruts at the moment? Because that always makes, I get it. Like, it's easy to kind of get burnt out or like in a position where you're not sure what to make. Let's try it. Okay, so the theme is fairy tale, which is a very broad stroke, right? Fairy tale is essentially folklore throughout the ages. Obviously, European-inspired folklore leans heavily into things like Dungeons and Dragons, tabletop games, fae, fairies, etc. Western folklore, however, not so much representation in modern games or in modern tabletop games like D&D or Pathfinder. So, if you're open to it, something with Western folklore that I've always found interesting is the sheer amount of like cryptids that we have in the US. It's kind of terrifying. Like almost every region has its own cryptid, and it like it's kind of terrifying if you believe in those things, or like, if you think of how big the US is and how much space there is that's unexplored or not settled. There's quite a bit of forest and land that's just nothing, right? Mothman is a great example. Oh my goodness. There are... Anyway, so if you are, considering something like that, maybe a regional-based cryptid or folklore might be an interesting, thing. Another thing that people don't really consider in American folklore, a lot of it is based around like obtaining wealth, right? And so there will be things like, that's why we did it. We brought it up again. Appalachia is terrifying to me, by the way. There are so many stories that even locals, they're like, you do not hang out outside at night. You don't. You go inside, you close your blinds. If you hear a sound outside, you don't go out and check it out. If you hear someone calling for you, you don't go check it out. Oh my gosh. Pretty much everything in American folklore wants to hunt you down and like eat you. Okay? Like, for the most part. Oh, dang, that's cool, Rev. Man, those plates, they be on business. They get all tectonic and stuff. So, Canary, I mean, fairy tale is a fun theme, but also I think, you know, if you dive into Western folklore or fairy tales, you'll kind of have a broad palette of options that many may not dive into. Because traditionally, fairy tale is, you know, fairies and, you know, I would say European folklore. What are you gonna say? Those plates getting tectonic. Honestly, Hans Christian Andersen. It's just so interesting how many of the like cryptids in the US are like they essentially hunt you and want to like take you away, or like, and it's not like in very like cute ways like a fairy would. It's like they want to eat you. Like there's so, oh my gosh, like there's these cryptids called hide behinds. Just look them up. Like there's so many weird cryptids in the US, and they're all about like essentially people going disappearing. You know, they're trying to make explanations for disappearances. I also think it's reflective of the area because like a lot of the US is still not tamed. Like vast swaths of American wilderness exist that are like hundreds of miles of forest. It feels like the Amazon, you know what I mean? But it's in like a crazy huge country that has infrastructure going across all of it. There's roads that plow through these areas that's like you travel through at night. It's terrifying. A lot of the conspiracy theories about national parks and missing persons, I thought a lot of it was like people are like falling into crevasses, mine holes, you know, or essentially that's my assumption, at least, Rev, is people are falling into like pits, sinkholes. You can see like the areas where people go missing the most on maps, and they're reflective of like areas that had huge mining culture in the time or has lots of sinkholes. So like people go missing in the Nevada desert every year, and guess what? Tons of mines all throughout it that aren't recorded or marked anywhere in history. The same with back east. Cave, just feral people. Feral people, I'd imagine feral people exist. There is instances and recorded instances of people who live off the grid. You know, today, people like that homestead culture, but there's people who live way off the grid. I mean, you still have Amish culture in the US, people who don't believe in like using modern accommodations or amenities. But then you have people who live out in the middle of the sticks, and they will like, if you go to their property, they might want to like shoot you. You never heard of the term cryptid before? I'm glad you learned something new today. Man, as a young boy, I was like obsessed with American folklore and history. And like, I used to read about the Lost Dutchman mine all the time. Like, anytime I could find a new book on it, I'd read it. That's not necessarily a cryptid, it's just American folklore. But yeah, Chupacabra is a South American for sure, but it does lean into some American states, Texas, Arizona, California, especially where they have a good representation of those cultures and also share a border with those regions. Oh, for sure. In Alaska, man, like, oh, so many people are off grid. And you could be out in the wilderness in Alaska, like hundreds of miles from anything. Isn't there places out there that's like they only get supplies from a plane like twice a year? So if people live like that willingly and have some kind of sustained structure, you got to think there's people living out in the woods doing it on their own. There was a group of people living in, shoot, what is that area? It's like a very remote region in like Russia. I feel like it starts with an S. Can't remember the name of it. There was a family that was living in the remote regions of this area, Siberia, for like generations. They ran away during like one of the wars, and then they were living there out in the middle of nowhere, and they were discovered by a team of geologists who were out there looking for potential like areas to mine coal. Not to mention, we have entire offshoots of society, humans who don't want to embrace modernity. Like you have the tribes that are out in like in the Amazon that don't want anything to do with modern society, or the what is that? The Sentinelese, right? The North Sentinel Island. They don't like people at all. And yes, that just was on the news, wasn't it? Canary Riot? The Australian man who was living in the bush with his kids for years. He like abducted his kids and ran away with them. We live in strange times. Australia is like the world on survival hard mode. Someone booted up Australia onto the planet and they're like, let's make this area the craziest, hardest survival mode area. Nothing surprises you anymore. Honestly, Blue Maids, that's a good way to live your life. And it's crazy because we can't even like satirize life anymore because a lot of it ends up being real. A grim fairy tale book. Library, my friend. Orcadian Nukalavi? Is that how it's pronounced? That sounds terrifying, by the way, Highland Lass. Right? Australia is like Texas Senior, right? They do all the ranching and like the cowboying there, like on hard mode. You ever seen Man from Snowy River? Uh-oh. Oh, I thought my map froze. I'm gonna save. I would say there's just not as many things that can kill you off the bat in the United States. Oh, such a good movie. So there was two movies, first off, Man from Snowy River and The Return of the Man from Snowy River. And it's essentially about the Australian outback and horse ranchers and cow ranchers and miners in like the turn of the century before Australia started becoming more like settled, and you know what I mean? Hello, Florida. Florida is its like its own kind of thing. I put Florida in the same like kind of category as like the Amazon. Are you talking about the downhill scene? Yeah, that's crazy. It is probably one of the most insane stunts and scenes in like in modern movie history. And yes, that poor horse, like that's crazy that stunt was approved. Even could have very easily ended in both of them like mangled. Yeah, I don't want to spoil the movie for y'all. If you haven't watched it, you should definitely check it out. But at the same time, it's like 30, 40 years old at this point, so I don't feel bad saying spoilers. It's essentially kind of a love story on like the Australian outback during the cowboy era, right? It was some camera trickery, but you can see the trees clearly up at the vertex following, you know, gravity, right? But I think it was not as high of a hill as we're led to believe. You know what I mean? It was actually much, much less steep. Definitely some trickery and some shots made to get it just right. But the scene we're talking about, this guy basically, they're out chasing a whole bunch of cows that got loose with a huge posse of cowboys, and then the cows like, or is it horses? I can't remember. Horses maybe. And the horses go over this ledge. It's horses. They go over this huge ledge of a hill, and all the cowboys just stop. They like all stop. And the one with something to prove, who is like trying to date the main like rancher's daughter and like prove himself to all the other cowboys that he's a real amazing cowpoke, he just jumps off, jumps off the hill and starts running down it with his horse full speed. And he's like pulled way back. It's like one of the most iconic scenes in movies ever. I mean, it had to have been insanely hard to shoot and to make sure that the like animals and the like stunt people were safe. But from the perspective of the viewer, it seems like 300 feet of sheer mountain this guy runs down with this horse. It's breathtaking. It's insane. Oh, horses are insanely strong and like powerful creatures. I have an insane amount of reverence and like respect for them. I would not want to mess around with them like to any degree. There's a reason we measure like our vehicle's ability and horsepower. Like I think there's a reason for it. No, I just grew up in a home where my dad loved cowboy movies, so I watched a few growing up. So I watched a lot of like John Wayne movies growing up, you know what I mean? I do have some favorite westerns though, like Big Jake is one of my favorite westerns. Absolutely love that. Or Tombstone. I wouldn't say I watch them like all the time though. What did you do, Mondu? Did you find a way to break Dungeon Alchemist? How about you, Canary Riot? Do you watch a lot of Westerns? Honestly, Firefly is definitely a Western, absolutely top tier Western. Space Westerns are something that a lot of people don't like understand, and I think that like Star Wars captures some space Western vibes sometimes, and then also Firefly really kills it. Sounds cool, Mondu. I have never seen that, but that sounds absolutely terrifying and like trauma inducing, but it's like a real thing that probably even happened. You got kicked by the horse, bro? What do you mean what happened, Canary? Sorry, I can't remember what I was talking about. Clint Eastwood films are also really good. When I visited my grandfather, I bought him a big Clint Eastwood pack of films, and we watched a couple of them. Oh, they were saying that like, oh, over on Twitch chat. Sorry, I didn't include you. Blue Mage says there's a scene in the miniseries Lonesome Dove that scarred me for life. This guy is crossing a river with his horse and falls in and is attacked by a swarm of water moccasin snakes. Like, that sounds terrifying. Hey, Michelle, see you later, bud. Thank you for hanging out. Appreciate you. Right? No one wants to mess with water moccasins. First off, have you seen them swim? They are fast. Like, terrifyingly fast. So you were standing behind the horse? Oh, you shoulder checked the horse. Gotcha. Uh-oh. May have to move this over another thing, because like this isn't lining up well. Darn it. Because I'm gonna need like a pathway here. Yep. Darn it is the word of the day. Y'all checked out the latest season of Futurama? They dropped the entire season all at once on Hulu and Disney Plus like last week. A bench on this side instead? Yeah, that could work. But all of that changed when the fire moccasins attacked. Water moccasins are more dangerous than earth moccasins, but all that changed when the fire moccasins came. Air moccasins was just in that one plane movie with Samuel Jackson. You mean Snakes on a Plane? Oh no, Canary Riot, that sounds terrifying. That's the movie you were thinking of. Honestly, I miss when movies were just ridiculous concepts. Snakes on a Plane is the most insane concept for a movie. What happened to movies? They're all too careful now. They're all like they have to follow something that is an existing story, or like they have to. I just bothers me. Okay, this is the millennial hill I'll die on. There's no more like fun, interesting, random movies anymore, right? All they want to do is do safe movies that are like they revamp a movie, or they do movies where they'll have sequels. Wait, they're gonna remake Anaconda? No. No! You can't remake Anaconda. Yeah, but even indie movies are dying too, Chim. I just miss when, like, was Weapons pretty good? I've heard good things about Weapons, as a horror film at least, or a thriller. Journey Quest or Johnny Quest? Journey Quest, I have not heard of it, no. Donnie Darko, that movie's like 20 years old now. See, that's what I mean, like movies that were quirky and weird and random. Movies like Captain Ron, right? Like it didn't have to have a purpose. Like it just was random. It didn't have to be a multi-trillion-dollar blockbuster. Oh my gosh. So there is, oh my gosh, that sounds so awful. Oh my gosh, Jim. Oh, I'll check it out. That sounds cool. That sounds cool, Canary Riot. I have never heard of it. Thank you for educating me on that. Have you all heard of Journey Quest? I thought Canary Riot was talking about Johnny Quest, which I definitely heard of, but never heard of Journey Quest. Oh my gosh, is it time to wrap up? No! Journey Quest is a troupe of players that plays D&D, and they record it. Honestly, I'm always looking for new groups. You know, one that I really enjoy is Legends of Evantris. Have y'all watched them? Like, I love a group that doesn't take itself too seriously and just has fun. And it doesn't feel like scripted, and you know what I mean? Like, right? They are a big contender to Critical Role because they're so real. They're down to earth. It's not a bunch of scripted content and actors. It's just like real people who are having fun and enjoying themselves. I used to watch their clips a lot, and there was like a clown character that killed me. I was dying listening to the clown talking. He would talk like this. He was absolutely dodo. Chuckles the clown. Gamers. Wait, gamer with like where the guy is an actual like character in an FPS shooter, right? And the kid can control him, or Gerard Butler, right? Gamer. That movie was actually pretty good. It predicted a lot for the time. Like, people made fun of it and clowned on it, but like, it predicted a lot of the future of gaming and streaming. It's like already starting to trend that way. The Gamers, huh? No. What's it about? Maybe I've seen it. I don't know. Maybe. It's like the in-game character's quest. Interesting. I gotta check that out for sure. Thank you for educating me on that, Canary. I always love learning about new, like, troops, game troops. I haven't heard of it, but that's funny. I kind of had that same idea for like a webisode or a YouTube series or like a TV show even, where it's like real people living their lives, but you also see them playing as their D&D characters. That's really cool though. I've never heard of it. I got to check it out. How long has it been around? Oh, the Gamers are the people who did Journey Quest? Cool. Oh, I've seen that. It was a few years ago. I saw it on Netflix. It's pretty interesting. It's like a bunch of LARPers, right? Hey, Bane. How you doing, bud? Welcome back. Do it, Canary Riot, or just send it to me, DM me. Okay, I'm gonna get to the end here before we wrap up today. Hey, why don't you sit with your dead? Jeez. Such a random bench. I think a fun idea for a TV show would be like a group of D&D players who like live normal lives like, you know, everyone. They work, they're 9 to 5. And they've got their family and friends, but then they get together. And when they do, they cosplay and they have all their treats and snacks and have a good time, but then the show kind of like pans to them actually being the characters fighting. If the Gamers is like that, then I'll just, you know, go curl up in a corner and cry. But probably is. I don't know. I like to think that maybe like the group is so adamant on their games happening that they would do anything. Like one idea I had is like the DM is at work and he works in like an office, right? Like think of the office, right? Like an office place where they sell some random item and he works there all day 9 to 5 drudgingly. But while he's there, he's like texting his friends and drawing ideas for characters and making maps and stuff. But then I mean, you could imagine if maybe his boss is a little overbearing and thinks D&D is for nerds, or might be a little like religious and thinks D&D is like devil worship or something. I don't know. Bosses and offices, yes, exactly. but you have like a daytime portion of the show where it shows these people's real lives and them like excited for D&D, but often world gets in the way. The biggest boss of all is, or the biggest bad of all is scheduling conflicts and life. Have you seen Viva La Dirt League? No. I didn't see Rev's message. I was just going off the cuff and then saw it. So yeah, I guess I'm describing Rev. I'm gonna have to fix this fence next week. This campaign session could have been an email. Oh, goodness. Ugh, my next session is on the 12th. One of our players is out of the country. He's in the Philippines. And he'll be there until the 11th. And he's like, I don't care if I'm getting back on the 11th. I want to play on the 12th. Made me laugh. Your next game session is tonight? Nice. Are you playing or DMing tonight, Mosey? Forever DM. There should be a whole different category for work lurk. That reminds me that, like, if you tweet while you're working, if you're social media posting while you work, that's twerking. Ideas for what would be in a temple complex, please. Stables, jail, temple complex. What temple? What kind of temple? Is it a clerics? Is it a group of some sort of I don't know, worshipers of some sort? I obviously a temple would have worshipers. Sorry. What am I thinking of? Cult of worshipers that are trying to bring someone back. Give me more information about the temple complex. The more I know, the better I can help there, Lizzie. Is it for a particular deity? Lawful good military. Okay, so you're going to want to have definitely stables, right? You're going to want an armory, right? You're going to want areas for the paladins, clerics, etc., staff to rest, i.e. quarters, barracks, and potentially the temple might even have a wall around it. I always think of a temple complex with paladins would be well defended, more like a citadel than a temple. And a citadel is more like a castle temple, right? Where it has walls and defenses and more stuff going on. So just some things to think about. Flip it on its head. Start with the IRL people, follow them home to their D&D session. In the end, when the characters take a long rest, one of the characters say, hey, you want to play number crunching in cubicles? The characters all circle up their character sheets. honestly, if a temple with that kind of clerics and a lawful good military with paladins, you'd want it to feel defensible, right? So have some stables, have a walls with like defenses or towers on it. The actual temple itself have some like steeples on the corners and one in the center. As far as inside, you definitely want like the main area of worship with like rows of pews and like some sort of like podium or something in the top center, right? A bell tower would be a good addition if you can manage one. And also, seeing as how they're within like a fortress, you may even want to add like basic things like amenities. So, you know, like a kitchen area and a food area, like a mess hall for all of the soldiers that are there. Thank you, Canary Ride. I'll check it out. That'd be really cool, Jack. It's an interesting isekai. Whenever I think of a temple of paladins, I mean, that thing has, okay, they're all like military oriented, right? They wouldn't just have a temple. They would make it defensible. And they probably fought in religious wars or battles or skirmishes. So they definitely, I think, would consider making it a defensible position that could withstand a siege. All right, I think I'm going to save and wrap it up because we're 10 minutes past. Man, we got a lot done today. I put in a ton of graves. It was like 50 graves, 60 graves at least. Oh, I don't know, maybe. A lot. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Remember, our dam challenge is Fairy Tale, as we discussed during the stream today. You have between now and the end of day on Friday the 3rd, so till now, between now and 11:59 p.m. on Friday the 3rd in your time zone to submit a map. Remember, you can use that time to make a map of any shape or size as long as you use Fairy Tale as inspiration. And remember, there are rules pinned in our Discord that you can check out to make sure that you're actually following correctly and make sure your submission is qualified when you, because you don't want to put a lot of work into your map and submit it and it's disqualified, right? So the rules are pinned at the top of the Dam Challenge channel in our Discord. You can find them by clicking on the pins for the channel, pretty easy to locate. Aside from that, these challenges are designed to really challenge yourself more than anything, not really, you know, challenge others. It's really to put yourself out there and make a map you may not consider and put a time frame on yourself so you can make a map in a crunch. So if you're interested in participating in the Dam Challenge, remember that's what it's all about. Competing against yourself, challenging yourself to be a better map maker and pushing yourself to new heights. Anyway, thank you everyone for participating in today's stream. The Mapmaker Monday stream is often my favorite stream. It has a lot of activity, a lot of participation, a lot of interest. So I appreciate everyone that tunes in, watches, communicates, lurks. I will say this before we wrap up. If you enjoyed the stream today, make sure you hit that follow button or subscribe or like or whatever your platform has. That way you can find us in the future and don't miss out on any future streams. We stream 3 times a week. 2 times a week are multi-streams. Monday and Saturday are multi-streams where you can tune in, watch, you know, either map making or check out awesome maps and get live support and teach outs from myself and guidance from other members in our community. The other stream is on Wednesday, and that's actually dedicated to our Discord. It's called Office Hours. So every Wednesday you can tune in on our Discord and hang out. We showcase maps, discuss, ideas for campaigns, encounters, stat blocks, homebrew, etc. It's a fun place to bounce your ideas off of other GMs because most of the people watching are GMs. So great little hive mind to get your ideas run by other people to see if your players might enjoy it or you get the most out of it. Anyway, thank you everyone for tuning in today. Again, my name is Mac, the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. Dungeon Alchemist is a map making utility available on Steam. And download our demo for free today and try before you buy to test drive it on your computer and to make sure that it's worth your investment. Aside from this, I highly encourage you check out our streams, our social media, and our Discord server. Great resources available for anyone new to our community. You can get support in our Discord pretty much 24 hours a day. And also just hang out and get to know like-minded GMs and DMs. Anyway, thank you everyone for being here. We'll see you next time I give a damn. I'm going to run a quick Dungeon Alchemist theme ad and then we're going to wrap up. Bye.
You stand before the long, dark road to the fabled realm of Goyak-Ta, and before—
What do we see?
I don't know, a goblin.
I kill him.
But before she does, I, Gilliam of Firth, demand to know the goblin's name.
Hi, my name is Woblin.
Where do you live there, Woblin?
I don't think that's relevant.
Well, but I, Gilliam of Firth, demand to seek the goblin's abode.
Clever. Find family. Kill entire bloodline. I like it.
Seriously, we're doing this? Okay, well, won't be needing that anymore, will I?
Ever get caught by your players with your pants down? Dungeon Alchemist lets you create wonderful maps for any encounter in seconds.
Oh, Woblin, that's a very impressive cheese collection you've got there.
Yeah, it is quite impressive, yes. But you know what's more impressive? This map I have
To the fabled realm of Goyak-Ta, please take it and leave. Close the door behind you.
Mr. Woblin, I cannot help but notice that you have a secret tunnel underneath your cabinet. Care to explain?
Download Dungeon Alchemist, the AI-powered mapmaker, on Steam today.
See you later, everyone. Have an amazing week. See you Wednesday for office hours or Saturday for the damn stream. Out. Bye.